Hey guys, how are you today? I hope you guys are all having a great day as always. Today I am reviewing the sequel of Scream 1, Scream 2. Wes Craven returns as the director of this movie, and Kevin Williamson returns as the writer of this movie, which is also starring David Arquette, Courteney Cox, and Neve Campbell once again. Now it has been 2 years since the first series of killings from Scream 1, and now into this movie. It does a great job, especially in the beginning of the movie, with its predecessor, Scream 1. It's now a movie in their universe, and it's called Stab. This movie opens up with Maureen Evans, played by Jada Pinkett Smith, and Phil Stevens, played by Omar Epps, and they're going to the movies to see the Stab movie, and the premiere, I believe. The Stab movie is based on the actual events that happened in the Scream universe. It was kind of humorous in the beginning of the movie because Maureen Evans' character says to her boyfriend Phil about how horror movies lacks with African American characters. But it's a horror movie itself, and they're both African American. In this movie, you see how much people that went to the movie theater are fans of the Stab series. It's packed. It's really what a horror movie is like, but a little exaggerated a bit. And this is also a great opening scene because this is where you first see Ghostface kill his two victims, which are Maureen Evans and Phil. And I'm not really considering that a spoiler because that's how the plot is set up. So, also, those two characters go to Sidney Prescott's college. Again, this movie follows Sidney Prescott, but now she's in college, she's a more mature character. You can feel that she's such a different character compared to the first movie, where she was just a normal teenage girl. Now she's kind of used to all the things. Starting with, she got a prank phone call with someone acting as a Ghostface character, and she just thought nothing of it. It's almost like she's received phone calls like that before. The interesting thing of this movie is Ghostface is mimicking the actions that happened in the first movie to this movie, and he's kind of making it almost like a real life horror movie. The killer is trying to make a real life sequel. And Dewey and Gale are returning as well. Dewey is now an ex-cop and retired, and Gale is still doing her thing as a news reporter. But you can feel that motion in both of them when they first reunite with each other. It's angry, but you still feel like they have something in with each other. It's funny because Gale, she has a new cameraman, and you're like, oh damn, because you remember what happened in the last movie with Gale's cameraman. Spoiler alert, if you didn't see it, he died. And with Gale, it shows that she wrote a book about the Woodsboro murders, which was a Stab movie. I love Randy's character. He's such a nerd for horror movies, and that's kind of like what I am. There was a scene when Randy said to Sidney how the killings of these murders have nothing to do with their old murders. But, I mean, you almost kind of feel like Randy just doesn't want to admit it, but he still knows that all these murders are connected to him and Sidney in a way. All the characters in this movie felt like they've grown closer to each other. Unlike its predecessor when it was kind of just introducing the characters, all these characters feel like they're much more connected. A thing I did like about this movie is it kind of had a similar vibe to Scream 1. The first movie made fun of horror movies in general, and the second movie is basically making fun of sequels. There was another great scene with Randy, and he was in his film class, and him and a bunch of other people were talking about what sequels are better than the original. For example, Terminator 2, they brought up, Aliens, Godfather 2, and I mean, I think that was it, but it was just a cool seeing how everyone in the classroom were interacting with each other. It's almost like the directors and writers were really trying to make this better than Scream 1 by almost saying it out loud. I mean, that's their goals of horror movies and other movies in general, not just horror. But it was really cool in this movie because you never really seen that by a writer or director of actually saying it out loud by the characters of trying to get the sequel better than the original. Again, with this movie, you're not sure who the killer quite is, but when you watch it for a second time around, you see all these clues and you're like, I could have caught that, I seen that now. It's just really cool to watch it for a second and third time. I think I recently just watched it for my fourth time, and it was just as enjoyable as my first. Scream 2 had a combination of comedy and horror, and it was a solid movie just like the first one. I liked how Ghostface wanted to mimic the killings of the first one, like I said. I enjoyed this quite a bit, but I didn't think it was better than Scream 1. It was still a really good movie. With all that said, I'm going to give this movie an A-. And guys, I know I've kind of been giving all the movies that I've been reviewing high reviews. I'll try to do other ones not as good. But I mean, I just like to do these because they're some of my favorites. I'm going to do Scream 3 soon. And guys, if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so that way you can see me next time. Thanks for watching.